Hello, YouTube Pipers. It's Double O Pipe, aka Rick. How's everybody doing today? I filled my pipe. It's the Savinelli Roma 673, and I filled it with Carter Hall. And you need to go out? Do you need to go out? No, you don't have to. I ask him that, and he either comes to the door or he runs away real quick because he doesn't want to go out. Poor dog. He just doesn't understand. Well, it's getting closer to summer here. Now, weather's beginning to show it. This is the first real time it's been balmy. It hasn't really been hot yet. And even whenever it was warm, the humidity has not been up as high as it normally is. So it's been quite comfortable. Quite comfortable. But today, that humidity has begun to rise, so it has become a balmy, warm. Summers here are hot and humid, subtropical, so that's what you get down here. Way back when I was a kid, we didn't have air conditioning. And when we would meet over at grandmama's and granddaddy's, we'd play outside even though it was hot and humid, because that was what we were used to. We might have a fan, but we just played in the sun and in the humid weather, and we sweated. But it didn't bother us because that was just normal. On Saturday or Sunday like today, sometimes after eating a meal, it would be suggested that we churn some ice cream. And on this particular Sunday, I'm thinking about that decision was made, but we didn't have any ice. So Granddaddy told Clyde and me that if we'd get the tub, he'd ride us into town to get a block of ice so we could chip it up and put it in the ice cream churn. So we said, yay! And we ran over, and Clyde said, how about help me with this tub? And I said, okay. So I grabbed one of the handles, no wash tub, big round thing. He said, you think you can reach this other handle over here? And I said, I'll try. And I stretched as hard as I could and got both of them and said, yeah, I can do it. He said, good. I'll go unlock the trunk and you bring that over. I said, I thought I was going to help you with this. He said, you're doing such a good job. I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to go open the thing so you can put it in. I said, okay. So I picked it up and kind of staggered over to the back of the car. He had the trunk open. He said, okay, put it in. So I lifted it with all the strength I had, and I was a little guy. I mean, I've always been little, but I was really little back then. Finally struggled enough, got it in, slid it over the edge, and plop, it went into the back. Clyde closed it up. As soon as he closed it, he yelled, "Shotgun!" And just before he did that, I started to yell, "Shotgun." But I missed it by that much. Shotgun means you get to sit in the front seat on the right-hand side by the window. So I went over to Granddaddy's door, and he had opened it up and put the seat back so I could get in the back. And I hopped in the back, sat down. Clyde hopped in his side, and Granddaddy slammed his door. Clyde slammed his door. Clyde rolled his window down, because that was our air conditioner. We rolled the windows down. He rolled the window down. We used to have a triangular piece of window with a little latch on it, and we'd push that out, and it sat on in a little thing and would rotate on that. And he put that as far as he could so that it would catch the wind and rush it in. I miss those little wedge windows. They served a good purpose. When you smoked, you could crack it open just a little bit and stick your cigarette right there at the edge, and it would take it right out. Whoosh. Anyway, Granddad asked us if we were settled and ready to go. We said yes. He cranked it up, put it in reverse, backed out of the driveway, and got on the road and drove off. We had to go across the Wapucut Bridge, and then we went past Windermere and took a right and went across the Ashley River Bridge. I can't remember what street the ice house was on, but whatever route he took, he got us to there and parked the car outside. And the ice house was I was about, I don't know, maybe 4'2" or something like that. And the ledge of that, maybe my eyes came to that ledge so I could just see over it. And the man would go into the freezer and chop off a block of ice. We had our wash tub out there, and he saw the size of it. He went in, chipped it off, put the ice tongs on it, carried it out, and dropped it in the tub. And then he asked Clyde and me, he said, "Do you two want a sliver of ice?" And we both looked at him because it was hot as the devil. We said, "Yeah." So he went back in, chopped off a couple of slivers of ice and handed them to us. And Granddaddy opened the trunk and said, "You boys going to load that in here?" So we picked it up. Clyde got one side and I got the other side. Took it over to the back, and he lifted his up so that all the weight of that ice came on me, and I was struggling to get that ice up high enough to put it in the back. But we finally got it in there. He was smiling the whole time. Twinkle in his eye. And as soon as I heard it thump, I started to yell shotgun, and he said, "Shotgun!" So he got the front seat again. Well, and I closed the trunk. We got in the car again. I slipped into the back seat. Clyde got into the passenger side, closed the door. Granddad closed the door. Cranked it up. And took off down the road. crossed over the Ashley River Bridge and veered left as we got on Folly Road. And when we got to the Whopper Cut Bridge, it was open. And we didn't have much traffic back in those days. So we were pretty close to the bridge when it opened, and Clyde and I both jumped out and ran over to the grassy side that was built up to where the bridge went. And we watched the boats as they went through. And as we were heading back, I started to say it, and he said it again, "Shotgun!" And I missed it again by that much. Well, as we got in the car, Clyde and I looked at each other and said, "We forgot all about our slivers of ice." And Granddaddy said, "Well, it's back there in the tub, so when we get home, you can get it." We drove home, or he drove us home. He had also gotten a box of the rock salt so we could put that on the ice to help in the freezing of the ice cream. And he pulled up on his road and turned into the driveway and drove up to the backyard. Turned it off, and Clyde and I jumped out. And Granddaddy opened the trunk, and I think Granddaddy pulled it out this time because he saw how much I was struggling that other time. And he put it down and he said, "You boys carry this over to the step, and we'll bring the churn out. And I think your grandma, or talking to Clyde, I think your mom has made up the ice cream liquid so that we can churn it now." And he said, "Who wants to use the ice pick and chop up some ice?" And we both yelled, "I do, I do." And Granddaddy handed it to Clyde and said, "Be careful with that. I don't want you to hurt yourself." And so he commenced ice picking that big block of ice. And I reached in there and picked up my sliver of ice, and I was sucking on that thing watching him do that. Since I was so much younger than him, they didn't trust me with the ice pick. And I asked Clyde, I said, "What kind of ice cream are we going to make?" He said, "Peach." I said, "Peach? I hate peach ice cream." I said, "Why can't we make chocolate?" He said, because your grandmama has mixed up that liquid and has put peaches in it. That's why you're going to eat peach ice cream." I said, "Yuck. I don't like peach ice cream." But once it was made, and it was cold and we were hot because we had been playing, or because the day was going on and it was deep into the afternoon, and the temperature had not gotten any less, but continued to climb until about 3. So anyway, that's how that ended, that particular portion of the day. I'll have to try and remember what happened after that, because I know that as usual, Clyde had some devilment. I know he did, and I'll have to remember that. But I never could remember to yell shotgun in time. Well, it's just a short memory. It's a hot day. Made me remember it. We would play out under that chinaberry tree until somebody would say something like, "Let's go get some ice for some ice cream." That was one of those family things that everybody got around and kind of worked together. Everybody had a job to do. But I hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday afternoon. Hunter's wanting to eat, but it's too early. He's always wanting to eat. He wasn't doing too well last week, but he seems to be feeling a little better now, which is good. I'm happy about that. All right, folks, I'm going to sign off this time, and next time I'll finish this up about Clyde and me and the ice cream churn. Everybody, take care. God bless. Hope to see you soon.